Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. In this week's video, we're just reading some like silly little thrillers. I've been feeling fairly slumpy lately and my life has just been so chaotic the past couple of weeks, so I feel like I just need some like good, silly little fast-paced thrillers to kind of get me back on track with my reading for the month. So that's exactly what we're gonna do. That's the plan for this video. Let me tell you about what we're reading. I'm gonna be starting with What Lies in the Woods by Kate Alice Marshall. This is a really solid author for me. I've read several of her young adult books. I always really enjoy her writing style. I think she is very crafty and creative in her plot lines, and I just really enjoy her as an author. This is her adult debut, I believe. This is just a thriller, so usually she writes kind of like speculative horror, which I love, but in this case, just a thriller. We're following this woman who is, I guess, returning to her hometown 2 decades later from this incident that happened with her friends. They were out playing in the woods and somebody tried to kill her. She survived, she moved away, but there's secrets that are unresolved in the past and she's gonna come back and all these secrets are gonna come to light. Sounds like a great classic thriller. I'm also going to be reading The Murder Rule by, I think her name's Dervla McTiernan. I don't have the book in front of me, so I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's the author's name. This is a legal thriller. We're following our main character, Hannah. She is a college student pursuing law. She is transferring to a school, I believe in Virginia, where she's going to get on this team of students working on the Innocence Project because she has like a personal vendetta against one of the clients that they are going to defend, and she's gonna make sure that he stays guilty, stays in prison. I don't really know. That's the pitch. That's what I got out of reading the synopsis. And then I'm also going to be reading The Murder Rule by Peter Swanson. This is my, I think, first Peter Swanson book. We're following a girlie who's a librarian. She's married to her husband and she starts to get a little sus because he's acting a little sus and she thinks that he might be a serial killer. So she's gonna do some research and she's gonna talk to her friends and they're gonna figure out if he actually is a serial killer or not. That's the TBR for the week, and let's go ahead and get into it. Hi friends, good evening. This is gonna be kind of a long and rambling update, I think, so I'm sorry in advance. There's just lots of like random stuff that I felt like talking about today. And before we actually get into discussing what I read so far in What Lies in the Woods, I just wanted to show you a couple of things because I got a package from Barnes & Noble today and like I just want to share because these things are so cute. So first things first, I got my mom this vase. Her birthday is on Wednesday, I think. Today is Sunday. And honestly, this is smaller than I thought it was going to be, but this is so cute. I have like a very vivid memory of my mom reading The Secret Garden to me when I was little. I don't know if she'll remember it, but it's a vase. And I just think it's gonna look so cute in her house. And I love how small it is actually. I was expecting something bigger, but I'm like not sad about this. I just think that this is adorable. And then I also ordered some stickers because one of my like big goals for the second half of the year, and I feel like I've kind of been talking about this in all my like vlog style videos this year, but one of my big goals for the second half of the year is to like really use my journal and do like full page spreads and just like get excited about journaling because I have so much supplies and I just haven't really been using them. So I ordered some new sticker books. I love this company's collections. Like I think that they are so dynamic and so cute, and I feel like you really get a lot for your money. I think I paid $9 for each one of these. They were like on sale a little bit. Normally they're $10.99. But I just think that these collections are so nice, and my favorite thing about these actually is that, hold on, this one's probably not going to show up super well in the light. My favorite thing about these is that when you finish using up a sticker sheet, it's like normal paper on the back of the sheets. So you can use this paper in your bullet journal as well as like a scrapbooking paper situation. I just love that about these. I have like 4 different books and 2 of them are getting kind of low, so I ordered 2 new ones. Although I have like the original version of this collection. It's different than this one is, but there are definitely some repeat stickers in here, so that was fun to see. So this one has these really beautiful like vintage kind of classics vibes stickers, and a lot of them are very similar style to this, like I don't know about art really. And then I also got this one, Cottagecore, and this one is just like the cutest thing that I've ever seen. And you can't really tell, it doesn't really show up very well in this light, but this is actually like a very soft green, and this is the color of the paper in my journal, so I'm super excited to use these. And then the last thing I wanted to update you all on, this is kind of a big deal for me. I recently accepted a full-time job starting in August. I accepted 2 days ago and I didn't really make any videos last week, so I haven't really had anywhere to share this news with the internet. And I know that my subscribership, I mean, there's a couple of you out there who I love and you are so supportive of my videos and you interact with me so much. And I'm so grateful for you, but I know a lot of my subscribership doesn't really care about my life, right? Because I have like kind of a small subscribership, and that's fine. Like, I love what I'm doing here. I'm just having a fun little silly time, but I just don't know what that's gonna look like for my channel. I don't know if I'm gonna have like more or less time to read, because right now, even though I don't have a full-time job, between the 2 jobs that I do have, I still have a full-time job. So I don't know if it's really gonna affect anything at all. I'm not sure. This is a position that I was planning to fill in October, and the opportunity just like happened to come up and be ready for me the first week in August. It's actually ready for me right now if I want, but I have to like close out what I'm doing at my other jobs before I can start that. But anyway, that's like a big life change for me, and I'm just like nervous and stressing, and that was kind of the inspiration, I guess, for this vlog, because I need some like silly little fast-paced thrillers to distract me from like the chaos that is going to be this massive change in my life. And also, okay, this is another random thing. See, I told you I was feeling chatty. I've already been talking for 5 minutes and we haven't even talked about the book yet. But last Tuesday I got Sabrina Carpenter tickets and I'm so excited. And if you didn't get them and you wanted them, I'm so sorry. My ticket buying experience was like fairly smooth, but I didn't go through Ticketmaster. I went through the other like host that was selling tickets for some of the venues. So I'm going to Minneapolis to see her. I'm really, really excited. And if you didn't get tickets and you had to fight that Ticketmaster war, I am so sorry for you. And now I think that's all of the random things that I wanted to share, so we can actually talk about What Lies in the Woods. I'm like 150 pages into this, and honestly, I was thinking about what I wanted to talk about in this clip, and like, I don't want to do spoilers in this video, but this synopsis is so incredibly vague that I like don't really know what I can share with you, other than the basic pitch that I already shared with you in the intro. So here's what I feel comfortable talking about. I think the writing itself in here is actually very beautiful for a thriller. Like, there are some lines that I find myself reading and I'm like, man, that is so gorgeously said, or like what an interesting way to describe something or someone. And so I expect nothing less from Kate Alice Marshall. Every book I've read from her has been 4+ stars. I love, love, love Rules for Vanishing. And then what's the other one? These Fleeting Shadows. I read that last summer. So those are 2 of my favorites. Gorgeous, stunning writing. She has this really haunting quality, and I just really appreciate what she's doing. And then that transferred over into a thriller, even though we're not telling maybe such a haunting story. This is more kind of a cut and dry situation, although there is something going on in here that is very kind of horror-esque, and I love her for that. It's not like speculative horror, it's just something that I think you would find in a horror book more so than a thriller, and like, it's being done so well. On the other hand, why, and this isn't her fault, I think it's not my fault either. It's no one's fault, but just the publishing industry has recently seen a huge boom, I would say in the last 2 years, ever since The Night Swim came out, of thrillers with podcasts in them. And this doesn't actually have like podcast transcripts in here, but there is a man creating a podcast about the events of these women's lives in the town, creating a podcast. And like, I'm just starting to get fed up with it, because I feel like every thriller nowadays has a podcast element, and like, it doesn't, it's not her fault, but I don't need to be reading about a man creating a podcast about someone whose events are foggy from an event that happened 10+ years ago. You know what I mean? Like, that is starting to happen more than I would like to see it. And I mean, it's not a huge part in this, but it's definitely something that, you know, comes up, and that Naomi has interactions with him. So like, I don't know. I'm just hoping that that doesn't become too big of a part in this story. And I also think I have one of the fairly large twists in here already figured out, and I'm not even halfway through yet, so I don't know if I'm right, but if I am right, I'm going to be kind of sad, and I just wish that this would have been disguised a little bit better. This is her first like straight up thriller, so I don't know how her twists are gonna be. I'll keep you posted to the best of my ability without spoiling anything. But those are kind of my initial thoughts for this evening. So it's about 7:30 right now, and I have nothing going on tomorrow, I don't think. So I'm either gonna finish this tonight or tomorrow morning, and I'll talk to you when I have something to say. Hello, good afternoon. I finished this. I'm gonna give this 3.5 stars. Something that I wanted to talk about earlier, but I think I just forgot to mention in the last clip that I was talking about this, is that I think the discussion around like true crime, podcast, TV show type of entertainment and like the ethics of it was a really good discussion that ran through here. It didn't overpower anything that was going on in the story, but I thought that it just made some really nice, like subtle but solid points. So props for that. The writing in this continued to be gorgeous, stunning, beautiful. I did guess the kind of big plot twist. Well, I guess there's kind of two big reveals in this book, and I had a feeling about one of them, but I couldn't quite put the pieces together. But the one that I told you, I think I had guessed from like page 50, I was right. And that just always makes the book a little bit less enjoyable for me. Like I like when we have some like smaller reveals and I'm able to figure those out and it makes me feel smart. But the like big twist is a shock to me, because then I feel like it keeps the suspense going. And I felt like I really was just reading, waiting for this reveal to happen, because obviously it's super integral to the plot for that reveal to happen. And I felt like knowing that reveal, the more that I learned about the story, the more I felt like I was right. And the less excited I got to finish this, you know what I mean? So that was a little bit disappointing. But again, I loved the kind of horror-esque plotline that was running through here. I thought the ending was well done. It did feel a little bit rushed, but that's okay. And I kind of liked the well-rounded resolution that we got in here. And while yes, I did not think that it was super compelling twist-wise, I do think that this book was just like really solidly written, and I thought there were aspects in here that we don't often see in thrillers. I feel like I've talked a lot about the podcast situation and being irritated by that, and my feelings have not changed about that. And again, it's kind of hard to talk about these things without like truly spoiling the plot, but just know that there are elements in here working together that we don't, I feel like, normally see in thrillers. So props for this being individual and unique as well. I'm gonna start whatever the audiobook that I talked to you about in the intro is called. I really don't remember the name of it at all, but I'll put a picture of it on the screen right here for you so you can see what we're getting into next. And then I think this afternoon, I don't really have anything else that like has to be done today. And that dress pattern, the crochet dress that Taylor Swift was wearing, I don't know, like 2 weeks ago, and everyone's been like making patterns of it. I feel like I can make that without following a pattern, and I've wanted to make something like that for a while. So I feel like this is just like my sign, my inspiration to do that. So I'm gonna be using this kind of like brown moss colored with like some gray and brown undertones. And then also this Lion brand super soft like creamy brown polyester yarn. This is so soft, and I'm almost wondering if I should like wait and order some green in this color, but I really like this yarn and I haven't had a project that I wanted to use it for until right now. So I think I'm gonna make that dress with these two colors, and I'm just gonna like do the pattern as I go. Obviously I will not be finishing this in this video, but at least it'll give me something to do while I am listening to the audiobook this afternoon. And I'll keep you posted on it. I'll probably honestly not finish it until like the end of July, so you'll be seeing it, I guess, interspersed, unless I decide it's too hard and I give up. I don't know. I'm getting ahead of myself here. I'm gonna start the audiobook and I'll check in with you when I have something to say about it. Friends, hi, same day, later time. I am like 60-ish% through The Murder Rule. That's what the book is called. Quick recap, because I gave you nothing in the clip when I told you I was reading this next. This is a legal thriller. We're following Hannah, who's our main character. She is joining this legal team in Virginia. She's from Maine. She has some sort of ulterior motive joining this legal team. We're not really sure what it is. We know that she wants to get revenge on someone. It's for the Innocence Project, and she is convinced, or she knows, that this big case that they have, this man is not innocent, and she's gonna go in, stir things up, and I don't know, make sure that he doesn't get out of jail, I guess. And then we also are getting chapters from her mother's perspective, but it's just in journal entries, so we don't actually get to read from her. We're like, I think early 90s when her mom was a teenager / college student, and she met this man. She fell in love with him. He had this friend who seemed like kind of bad news. So obviously these things are connected. The mom is connected to this guy who is connected to this case. I'm liking it. I'm not loving it. Honestly, I was kind of putting off updating you because like I just don't have any feelings about this so far. There's not really a ton actually going on, to be honest with you. Like I don't feel, it's not very thrilling. We just are like alluding to, well, actually, okay, we know this thing that happened in her mom's past, but I'm not going to tell you because it's a spoiler. And so everything's sort of making sense now, but we don't know how that thing is connected to this case, if that makes sense. Like we don't know why this thing that happened in her mom's past, how that gets connected to the reason, the crime that got this man put away. And we don't actually know if he did this crime or not. Like we're not sure if she's just there to make sure he stays in jail or if she knows he committed this crime. Hannah now, not the mom. Sorry, that was confusing. We don't know if Hannah knows something that like we don't know and he actually is guilty of this crime, or if he's not guilty of this crime and Hannah just wants to make sure that he stays in jail because of the thing that happened with her mom. So that was very vague and kind of confusing, but maybe I can edit what I just said to make more sense than it just did when I said it without editing. I have been playing around with my crochet pattern this afternoon, so I don't actually have a ton done because I've just been doing a bunch of like sample swatches to see what I think looks best. And I actually think I'm going to go for kind of like a color block rather than a stripe like the Taylor Swift dress. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll put a picture of the Taylor Swift dress here, or editing me will, so you know. But I think I'm going to use that pattern essentially, but I'm going to do like one green sleeve, one brown sleeve, and then I'm going to do the front of the dress either green or brown, and the back of the dress whatever color I didn't use on the front. So it's going to be more of a color block situation. In my head, this looks good. You get what I'm saying. The point is, I don't actually have anything to show you right now, but I'm gonna probably finish this audiobook tonight, honestly, because it's pretty short and I'm listening to it quite quickly because I'm just like, I just like don't care that much. I don't feel like it's anything going over my head. And I also wish, I mean, it's very much set in this legal kind of center situation. Like, I'm not sure what the term is. It's on campus, but it's like not a class. It's like the legal center for the Innocence Project. So it is set in that, but I wish that we were getting kind of more legal happenings, I guess. This makes me think, I'm actually gonna get up. We're gonna go on a walk together. But this is actually making me think of what worked so well for me with A Good Marriage by Kimberly McCreight. This is a legal thriller and it is so good, and it like really throws you into the legal prose. It's kind of long, but it's totally worth it, and I would highly recommend this actually. And I don't think I've really ever talked about this on my channel, but I do think that this is my favorite legal thriller, so would highly recommend if you're looking for a legal thriller and you haven't read this yet. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead, finish that audiobook. I'll actually put together like a full sleeve and I'll show you that, and I'll tell you my thoughts either later tonight or tomorrow when I get home from work. I finished work, I finished The Murder Rule, and then I didn't say anything to you, and now it's been 4 hours and I still don't really know what to tell you about this book because I don't really know what I just read. I'm giving it 2 stars, and I feel like that's actually a little bit generous, but honestly the writing wasn't terrible, so I feel like I have to give it some credit somewhere. But this book was super unorganized. There was a character perspective introduced in the last like 80% of the book, and mind you, this is a character that's been in the book the entire time, and we only get like 2 chapters from his perspective, so like I just don't understand the purpose of that happening. Why did he have 2 or 3 chapters? Couldn't tell you. I don't know. I'm just like baffled at, I feel like, how little thought went into this. Or maybe the issue that I'm having is honestly that the author had too many thoughts and couldn't narrow the ideas that she wanted to conceptualize in here down enough to make a cohesive plot. I just got out of the shower and my hair is a mess, and obviously, I mean, you can tell. Does this happen to anyone else that has wavy hair? We're going off on a tangent, but we're just gonna roll with it, okay? The front of my hair is super dead, and so it's like stick straight. And I mean, I do comb it out because the top is like really curly till right here-ish, because my hair is wavy, right? But then this part of my hair is like dead. So she is just like stick straight, super frizzy, lots of broken ends. But then the back of my hair is just like insanely wavy. Let me know if you have any hair product recommendations. I've been struggling with this for like the past like 5 years. So the last time my hair looked good was 2020, to be honest with you, and it hasn't looked good since. When I started college, I just let my hair care routine go, and this is the college growth. And this is the post-college growth. So anyway, that was so random, but I'm just procrastinating because I honestly don't know how to talk to you about this book. God, okay, I guess here's a thing that I didn't know. So the murder rule is actually like a legal term that is discussed for maybe like 2 paragraphs in this entire book, like so little that it kind of went over my head. Like I didn't even realize that that's what it was talking about until I read a Goodreads review, because I was trying to figure out what to say and conceptualize what I didn't like, because I just had so many problems that I honestly wasn't sure where to start. So I was like reading other people's hate comments, right, to get some backing for my own feelings. And it talked about how it has nothing to do with the book and it's only mentioned once. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't even realize. I didn't even understand the title of the book until I read this Goodreads review. So that's a bad sign, right? The conclusion of this book was like this big happy ending, which, why are we doing that in a thriller? We should not be having a happy ending in a thriller. We can have a resolution, but it shouldn't be a happy one. And like everything in this, without spoiling anything, I felt like worked out so well for all of the characters involved, honestly. And my last big issue was this is pitched as a legal thriller, right? And it was legal for like 30% of the book, but the other 60%-ish of the book was just like, I don't have words. It was so unorganized. It was not legal at all. Nothing to do with the legal world. I was expecting almost like a dark academia feel from this based on the pitch, with like students, law school, revenge plot, right? All of that got abandoned and we just went off the rails into this completely different story that I didn't care about. Honestly, I don't really know how else to vocalize my complaints because I just have so many issues that I don't know where to begin or end. So I'm gonna stop my review here because I'm just getting like irritated as I talk about this. And now we're gonna move on to something that's hopefully better. I'm gonna pick up, that's upside down, A Talent for Murder by Peter Swanson. This is my first, I think this is my first Peter Swanson book. I might have read one other, although don't remember off the top of my head, so I'm thinking this is my first one. This is very short. The pitch for this book is a newlywed librarian begins to suspect the man she married is a murderer in this spectacularly twisty and deviously clever novel by best-selling author Peter Swanson. And you know, I love a librarian as a main character, and this book is honestly what inspired me to do this video because I really wanted to read this. I wanted to vlog it. It seemed like a great choice, right? So anyway, I'm gonna read this now. It can't be worse. Especially from this author who everyone like is in love with in the thriller community. It can't be worse than what I just read, right? God, I hope not. Hi, it's been approximately 5 minutes since we last talked and I'm on page 1 of this book, but I just wanted to say our maybe potentially serial killer husband character has just sent our main girly a red heart and a black heart in a text with no other context whatsoever. So immediately psycho behavior. Friends, hello. It's been a couple days since we last talked. Today is 4th of July and the book matches the color scheme going on, so we love to see it. I am, I think, 120-ish pages in, which is about halfway through. Thing number 1, I did not realize that this was book 3 in the Kind Worth Killing series that's going on, because this cover looks completely different from those other 2, and like the title doesn't go with that vibe. Like I had no idea. This was not my book of the month pick. This was my mom's. She gave it to me. She was like, this was so fun. Had no idea going in that this was the third book in the series till I got halfway through and I'm like, there's like some references in here that make this seem like this is in a series. So I went on Goodreads and I marked it as reading, which I usually don't do. Usually I just like go on Goodreads after I finish the book, mark it as reading, and then mark it as done, if that makes sense. So I don't think you should read this as a standalone if you want to read the other books in this series. I was just under the impression that we were only reading from Martha's perspective in here. Martha is the librarian who thinks her husband is a serial killer. But if I had read down to the bottom of this, I would have realized that it starts talking about Lily Kinter, who's one of the main characters in the other books, obviously, because this is like a kind of a detective thriller series, except Lily's not a detective, she's just Martha's friend from college. But she got involved with the main guy in the first and second. Anyway, you don't actually care, but I'm just getting a lot of spoilers for like what happened between Lily and this guy, right? That would be kind of red herrings or plot twists in the first two books. So just putting that out there. That said, I am really enjoying this, and I'm not going to stop just so I can read the other two books in the series. Like, I'll just wait to read those for a couple years so I forget what happened in here, and then I'm like surprised all over, you know what I mean? I'm loving all of the like literary references in here because obviously Martha's a librarian, so she's reading all the books and she's talking about all these books and referencing all these books, and I just think that that is such a fun element in here. And then she's like doing this very organized kind of research about her husband and the locations that he's been, and if there's people, bodies, murders happening, suspicious deaths happening in the places that he's been, and she's really like compiling this evidence against him. I would love to see a crazy, insane plot twist. Like I said, this is the first book that I've read by Peter Swanson, so I'm not 100% sure if I can expect that or not. Also, I think when I gave you that little like first page update, I was assuming that we were reading from the perspective of Martha, or something giving context to Martha. But actually the first chapter is the perspective of the girly pop that is like the most recent potential murder victim from her husband. So the girlie in the first chapter, when I said her husband sent her a text that just had a red and black heart, that wasn't even our guy. That's not who we're interested in. That's not, he's not, well, maybe he is a serial killer, but not the one that this book is focused on. So anyway, I just wanted to share a couple quick updates. I'm liking this overall. It's not funny, but it is a little bit dry, and I'm really just enjoying the narrative style, and I'm excited to finish this probably either tonight or tomorrow. Since it's a holiday, I don't know if I'll actually get there. And I also just wanted to share my little butterflies, and I'm wearing my hair natural today. Like, I'm going all out for the holiday. So anyway, I hope you guys also had a happy 4th. And I'll talk to you when I finish the book, okay? Did you want to say hi? Okay, I'm about to leave and go to my family's 4th of July festivities. I also might see my best friend tonight. She just got in from Minneapolis. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to swing it and make it over to see her tonight, but I'm gonna do my best. She's here for 4 days, so we'll see each other at some point. But I wanted to give you an update on the crochet project. I completely changed the color pattern. I decided that I'm using this like kind of rainbow pastel yarn. It's gonna look really good. So this is the sleeve. I've only worked on it for like 20 minutes, but I'm taking it to my mom's house. We're doing like casual barbecue situation tonight. So I'll have some time where we're just doing nothing, where I can just sit with my family and, you know, crochet. So anyway, that's fun. I think I'm also going to, before I head out right now, just put together, my flowers are doing super good. I think I'm just gonna put together like a little 4th of July colors pansy bouquet for my mom. I feel like she would like that, so I'm gonna do that, and I'll catch you later for realsies. She's a cutie. She's a cutie little bouquet. She is a cutie. Don't look at my floor, it's dirty. She's a cutie. Okay, I'm leaving now, bye. Hi, I finished this late last night, and I'm gonna give it 3 stars, which honestly, it's maybe more like a 2.75, but I feel like we don't really care about being super specific like that. This just like didn't do much for me after we got like halfway through part 2, because by page like 175-ish in this book, we know exactly what's going on. Not like I guessed it, like we know, we're told exactly what's happening, and we're just waiting for Lily to kind of put the pieces together and then see how they like resolve this conflict. So this was definitely more of a detective type novel than a thriller, and like I get that, but overall it just didn't do a lot for me. I just like personally, that's not my taste in mystery thriller books. I don't like detective books often, and the way that this one panned out especially just really didn't work for me because there was like nothing left to find out, and I was just reading 75 more pages to wait for Lily to figure out what's going on. Like that's just like not really a vibe, you know what I mean? And I guess I'm not the only one that felt this way about this book. I know a lot of people have been really disappointed in this just from reading the Goodreads reviews and whatnot. So I guess this was my bad for choosing to, you know, start my Peter Swanson reading journey with this book. Although this is the newest release, so at least it's relevant to the year, I guess. I just thought it was kind of boring. It kind of just like fell off. It was so promising. We had these kind of really jarring, not plot twists, but just scenes of like random violence. Like one page, everything was going fine. You turn the page and someone's getting stabbed and it was like crazy and fun. And then the second half was just so slow and repetitive and kind of boring. And like, I don't know. And then there is a fairly large spoiler for either book 1 or book 2. Obviously I haven't read them, so I don't know which one, but it happens at the end of this book. So if you're interested in reading the rest of the series, I know I already said this, but now I like really wouldn't recommend reading this because you're gonna know things that you don't want to know about the other 2 books, like a major plot point, I'm sure. So 3 stars. Not the most exciting thing I've ever read. It wasn't bad. I liked the writing. It was fine. It just was quick and short and whatever. It was a silly fun time. So I guess that's kind of all I have to say to wrap up this video. I also didn't realize that Summerween, which is like Gabby Reed's readathon, starts this week. So this is very fitting for the theme. I didn't even really realize that was going on, but it is. So like that fits in for that. I don't actually really participate in readathons, but that's happening this week. It started on Friday, so when this video goes up, you'll still have, I think, a full 5 days maybe to join in the fun if you're trying to do that. So just wanted to spread some awareness about that. And with that, I don't think I have anything else to add. So was this a super successful reading vlog? No. Did we find a new favorite? No. But did we get to read some fun little thrillers that we didn't have to pay attention to very much? Yes. And did we get to clean off some books from my shelves to make space for some new reads this fall? Yes. So overall, I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it as a win. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks so much for supporting my channel, and I'll see you in another video soon. Bye.